Good day, YouTubers. Welcome back to my channel. Time for a spot of royalty. Remember this picture? Doria was pushing little Archie on the driveway in this little cart that is like a throwback to, 30 years ago. And people are wondering, where in the heck did that little cart come from? Anyway, a lot of people are questioning, is Doria Meghan Markle's, Harry's wife, surrogate? Okay, and did the royals force Harry and Harry's wife to choose a Caucasian surrogate? The second one, both of them seem, difficult, and we're going to examine both of them. But the Caucasian surrogate one, I don't know. Let's think through it. So postmenopausal surrogacy, which Doria would be, she's 64, she's turning 65 today. So she's postmenopause. She's not able to bear a child anymore by herself. Okay, but postmenopausal surrogacy is becoming more and more common. So there must be some way to do it. Grandmothers, etc., family members are being surrogates for their younger daughters and their granddaughters. However, surrogacy professionals, they limit the age of surrogates to 45 to rule this out so that postmenopausal women cannot be chosen. So there's obviously complication. Okay, postmenopausal women, they no longer menstruate. That should be obvious to any woman in that category. They don't have the lining in the uterus that nurtures the baby. So the baby's growing in that womb, and the baby needs nurture to grow. So I'm not sure how that works. A lot of viewers are commenting on this, so it is possible, so we'll take a look. Did the Queen force Harry and Harry's wife to choose a Caucasian surrogate? The surrogate has a lot to say. We'll consider this because, look at Archie's beautiful red hair and his lovely pale English complexion. He's a lovely little English boy. Okay, and Meghan doesn't have a lot of African blood in her anyway. So I guess that's possible. Now, more recently, Archie's hair has been dyed black for the most recent paparazzi shoot on the beach. We want to know, does Oprah know that Harry's wife was not actually pregnant for the now infamous interview where they alleged that someone questioned Archie's skin color? Okay, the belly will sit and rest and move differently. The weight of Meghan's belly will be much lighter for the prosthetic bump. Okay, they're not going to make a full weight prosthetic bump. They're going to make it a lot lighter. So it's going to move differently, and people will see that up close. Her feet and her ankles are not going to swell up. Her breasts will not greatly enlarge or begin lactating like usual. Her hips won't begin widening in preparation for the birth. There's no telltale waddle as the baby enters late term and is getting ready to dive out into the big scary world. All those things are not happening. So a lot of people are saying, well, gosh, Oprah had to know. Now, Oprah doesn't have any children, which is weird. She's so woke that I'm pretty sure she doesn't have any children. I feel bad. Then there's other folks like Mel Gibson. I think he has 12 kids. Good for Mel. But he's not a wokester. He's actually quite conservative. So, first question. Will the royals expose Harry and Harry's wives to their two surrogate births? Okay, they got another one coming. They got a boy, little Archie, and now they've got a girl coming who's going to be named Diana and born on July 1st, most likely. So there's a lot of ways they can expose them. I don't know if this is to their advantage. They will only expose Meghan if this is to their advantage. Okay, but there's a lot of ways they can expose them. They'll just leak it to the papers. They can literally call directly to the papers and just say, don't name me, an unnamed source. So will the royals expose Harry's wife for their two surrogate births? lot of twos. Okay, will the Royals expose Harry's wife's two births? So we have several connection cards: diamond ring, handcuffs, and fox. The bottom is fox, a clever move, calculated out, arranging the pieces, and strategizing. The fox and the snake are the most clever cards in the deck. They are both female cards. Okay, the male cards can be very powerful, but they are direct action cards. Okay, so the kings are direct action. The female cards are indirect action and can be quite clever. The fox and the snake are very, very clever. So they are very committed to clever, prudent action. 12, 14, 16, four spades, secretly. I'm leaning towards yes. I'm leaning towards yes, they might. Big problems and decisive action. Cutting, the executioner cuts the head off, very decisive action. Four-leaf clover, taking this opportunity. Karmic relationship and strength. Karmic relationship and strength. So the relationship and the deeply rooted opportunities, taking an opportunity on the relationship and working everything together and taking these buried things out of the box, these buried, dead, secret things out of the box. So let's see, let's add this up. 8, 11, 22, 28, 7 spades. Opportunity to reveal the secrets, working everything together for the secrets. I would lean towards yes, because it's getting pretty ugly. Meghan keeps attacking and attacking. Well, Harry's wife and Harry, they keep attacking and attacking and attacking. And if it's in the best interests of the royals, they will play the same game and spread those vicious rumors and provide evidence. And the truth is, both of Harry's wife's pregnancies are surrogate pregnancies, and this one as well. So that would be a huge explosion, because there's just so much deception just associated with that. And if the royals can't be blamed for any of that, I'm not sure, because there's a lot of doctored photos, there's a lot of photoshopped photos with the queen looking lovingly, wearing her horse riding outfit, looking lovingly at Archie, held in Meghan's arms. And there's a lot of photos like that, and they didn't object to those. Okay, so I think they were trying to implicate Harry, and they were trying to implicate the royal family by posting those photos up so that they can't later expose them. So this kind of tentatively looks to me like they are definitely thinking about it. The two's committed to this, and very cleverly. They're definitely thinking about taking this decisive action to cut this nonsense off, because Meghan is very literally threatening the monarchy itself, the very existence of the monarchy. So let's address, was Doria used as the surrogate? Or did they use a different surrogate? Let's take a look and see if we can, what the cards want to say. Was it Doria or a different surrogate? Because absolutely, I'm 100%, a surrogate was used on the first birth and a surrogate is being used on the second. So was it Doria or was it somebody else? And let's just see how the cards fall. Doria. Or a different surrogate. Doria or a different surrogate. Well, 12. Earthquake and broken chalice. So, broken relationship and a disaster and not possible. I think they tried with Doria. I think they tried with Doria. Here's a conception card. Here's deeply rooted conception and another woman. 12 and 7, 19, 5 clubs. So they had to do another option. Here's what I think. I think they tried with Doria. They wanted Doria to be the surrogate, but they had to use another option. It didn't take. It wouldn't work, and it didn't take. Okay, and this would make sense why Doria has such an honored place in the family, because Meghan's only going to be loving to someone in her family that she needs. She's only going to be loving to people that she needs. Okay, and another way of saying that is she's using Doria. Okay, but they tried with Doria. This is very interesting because they tried to, Doria was willing, they wanted Doria to be the surrogate, but it didn't work out. It didn't take. So here, another woman, solid foundation, paying her money, and here's a baby. This little baby is Archie. 11 and 8, 19, 23, and it results in a family. So that's very interesting. Initially, they tried with Doria, but it just didn't work out. So they had to then go to use a different surrogate, a younger surrogate who has a nice, solid foundation, premenopausal, is fertile and a good foundation. And that, as an accountant who doesn't know anything about medical stuff, that actually makes more sense to me. I am not understanding how a postmenopausal woman can do the job. Okay, so it's definitely another woman. All right, so another question that people keep asking is, did the Queen force Harry's wife and Harry to choose a Caucasian surrogate? This doesn't make sense to me because obviously, as long as Meghan is not a transgender, as long as she has eggs, it is Meghan's egg and Harry's sperm. Okay, and then those are combined outside of the surrogate and then implanted into the surrogate. Now, the surrogate will, the baby is nurtured and grown in the surrogate. That's a pretty important job. Okay, so I think, and I hear a lot of ladies are saying that the surrogate has no DNA involved, none of this stuff. That also doesn't make sense to me as an accountant and a non-medical professional. That's such an important role. She's doing such a big job and growing the baby. I would have to think that would matter, like a lot. So did the Queen force Harry and Harry's wife to choose a Caucasian surrogate, as some are saying? Because we have the woman in the black dress. Wow. Okay, what do we have here? We have a 2. Okay, choosing a Caucasian, and these are the very blonde cards. In very, very old cartomancy, they would look at a spade as a dark-haired woman. Okay, and that's not invalid. I generally don't interpret that way, but right on the surface we have very light-skinned, if you're going to use old cartomancy, very light, fair-haired, fair-complexioned people, chosen, big change and inheritance. So for the royal family choosing, I'm going to say that yes, a Caucasian woman was chosen to be the surrogate based on what's right on the surface. Okay, and that might help to explain Archie's very, very light hair, red hair, and very light coloring. Because I think everybody was expecting Harry to have, at least olive complexion and some darker hair, obviously. And I think now they're trying to color his hair and pretend that it is. What do we have underneath? Fence sitter, a cross, reacting to the permanent family, conflict, hand in hand, and yes. Many people is the key. So there are a lot of people involved, a lot of discussion about it, and what's best for the family. 12, 21, 27, 30. 30. 8 diamonds, money. And all things material. So what is that saying about what's underneath? So there was just a lot of people involved, and they really wanted to do what's best for the family, and they took everything into account. So that makes sense. It's a royal family. There's a lot of advisors, there's a lot of royals, and everybody talks what they talk. So I would conclude that, yes, in fact, they did choose a Caucasian for the surrogate. Did Oprah know that Meghan was not actually pregnant, and that was, a prosthetic bump? Her feet and ankles are not swollen. Her breasts are not, wow, ready to lactate and huge. She's not having a lot of the body changes. She's still just Harry's wife, exactly the way she's always been, but there's this enormous bump strapped to her front. That's what she looks like. She's not, her legs are not swelling up, her feet are not swelling up, she's not, her hips are not spreading. None of the normal tells are there. So did Oprah know? Because Oprah's a woman. I'm sure she's seen other pregnant ladies. Did Oprah know that Meghan was not pregnant? Did Oprah know? Cut officially, and 3 blackbirds. Not going to talk about 13, 4 hearts. She's a friend. She's a close associate. She's just not going to talk about it. Officially, for the record, she doesn't know anything. Officially, she's just cutting it out. For the record, Oprah doesn't know anything. That's what's on the surface. So no matter what she knows, her lips are sealed. Okay, and you have to kind of be like that. I mean, you have to be able to keep the secrets and keep the face on if you're going to get in front of the camera like that. What's underneath? Mother, that's a mother card. Close association, 16, 17, reacting, 5 hearts, reacting to circumstances. Best intentions for the close relationships, and Meghan, the mother. So she views this, her lips are sealed, she views this as this is what's best for Harry's wife and Harry, just to keep her mouth closed. So that's interesting. It's very interesting. I find it very interesting that they tried with Doria and it didn't work out. This explains why Doria is in such an honored position, because Meghan needs her and she's really coming to bat for Meghan, and that's a big deal. And that's why Doria wasn't at the elaborate New York City baby shower. She was the only one, I think, in the country who could have came up there. That's why she wasn't there, because she was pregnant. That's why the pregnancy went on and on and on and on and on, because it failed and then they had to start again. Okay, and they didn't want to announce a miscarriage. That's very interesting. Okay, so will the royals expose Harry and Harry's wife's multiple surrogate births? We have these 2s. Okay, they're really considering this because of, and this is a very decisive stroke, outing them and, wow, cutting the head off the snake. So they are really considering this. They're really considering this. They're, all working all the things together, Trinity, and exposing the dead bodies in the box. I think they're really, really considering it. I wouldn't swear that they are going to do it from this, but this is definitely on the table. This is, with the 2s, this is definitely on the table. It's definitely on the table that they are considering exposing the multiple surrogate births. And that could really, maybe, it's a gamble. They have to really carefully consider this, because if it blows back on the royals, then it can sink the royals. And the royals are already in such a tight spot and being attacked so much, they don't want to make it worse. Okay, and they always want to look like they're taking the high road. So I think that's what they're really considering with the Queen of Diamonds. Okay, was it Doria or was it somebody else? It was Doria first. This is the conception card. This is the family card. And then they had to go with somebody else. Okay, here's the baby. Here's a solid foundation. They had to go with a younger woman. They had to pay her. She's hanging on to the baby. So it was a disaster when it didn't work out. But they did try with Doria. And that explains so much. Okay, did they use a Caucasian surrogate? Yes, they did. Okay, was it forced? I don't see forcing. It's not forced. There's just a lot of people involved, and this is the best person. They're like that. They went through a lot of applicants because it's important, and they chose the best surrogate, and that surrogate happened to be a Caucasian lady. Did Oprah know? Yes, she's just not going to say anything, and it's for Harry and Meghan's best interest. So her lips are sealed because her lips are officially sealed. And like Hightower's like none of her business, and no, none of my business. I'm not going to talk about it. And she feels that she's just being a good friend. That's what she feels, and that's why she's not talking about it. So, interesting reading. That's how I see it. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination and Fortune Telling: The Magi Method. Find the book worldwide on Amazon and Kindle and paperback versions. Find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. See you next time.